What up, y'all? VTX is in the building, and I'm pumped today because I got out of bed and I made it to see another day. And I'm glad you did too. Thank you for tuning in. Today, I want to address a question that somebody posted on my video about incentive token. But first, I want to give a little shout out to Hazel Hex on X, aka Twitter. Hazel Hex reached out to me. Mad love, mad support. Dope Twitter feed, reposting all types of amazing stuff in the RH ecosystem, Pulse Chain, PulseX, Hex, incentive token. Hop over there, give Hazel a follow if you're into this sort of stuff. We got bubbles. We got drumming, dancing, Richard Hart. We got Hexaco. Who's this guy? VTX Crypto in the building. Good looks, amazing community member. Really appreciate the love. Go check him out at HazelHex1. So the question I have over here is from Reconfigured, aka Tron, the homie Tron. And the question is it too degen if I just go all in on Inc. because the charts say it's a leverage play on both Pulse and PulseX? Great question. Amazing question. Going all in on incentive token is risk upon risk upon risk upon risk. And you are right. When you look at the way incentive token has been moving, it seems to be pumping up more as the coins go up, and it has been leverage. But leverage works both ways, on the way up and the way down. And it's going to make those swings very volatile. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But aside from the fact that going in on one token as a leverage play is super risky, you also got to keep in mind that you have a whole RH ecosystem here. And that's a big gamble to say, this one's the one that's going to go all the way or outperform the other coins. And each of the RH coins has its own little niche, its own pocket. They're all so amazing. You got Hex, the OG, native, trustless yield, no middlemen. You got Pulse Chain, PLS, the gas token for the layer one, equivalent to Ethereum. Everyone's got to buy that in order to get involved in the ecosystem and participate. You got PulseX, buy and burn. Over 3.5% non-OA coins bought off the market and burned forever. They're all amazing. Now, when you go all in on one play, you're boxing yourself in. And if you're not right, then it's just like you missed out on opportunity. And yes, they are all liquidity linked, so they're going to move up and down together. And you are right by noticing that Inc. has been kind of acting as leverage. However, if you don't get the move correct and you look back, you might be kicking yourself in the ass. And also, these ratios between the coins are going to be fluctuating too. Like maybe 1 week Inc. is like killing it, but then since it's leverage on the down move, now it dips a little bit harder, and PLSX is looking a little bit stronger. And if you wanted to, you can mess around with these ratios between the coins if you own all of them. Let's say you had like $250 in each, 250 in Hex, 250 in Pulse, 250 in PulseX, 250 in Inc., right? And then we flush up a little bit and you notice like, hey, my Inc bag has doubled to 500, but my Pulse is only at like 275 or 300, or my PulseX is still at 250. I can take some of my Inc, rotate it into those other bags, maybe take like $25 from that 500, put in Pulse, $25, put it into PulseX. You don't want to go hard like back and forth. You take, a little piece. Not financial advice, this is just what I would do. You don't got to like do full positions, but you say, hey, look, Inc is like a little bit more expensive. Maybe I should buy something that's cheaper. And I can understand how you're feeling because you see ink flush up and you're like, damn, I just missed that 7-8x. Like I saw ink at 50 cents and I was like, whoa, that's cheap. That's really cheap. But I didn't buy any. So I'm not here. I am here to make good decisions for myself in how I invest in these assets, but I'm not here to get every single one correct. You know, also, when Sami called the pulse chain to hex ratio was like really low, like you could get a lot of pulse for your hex a few months ago, but I had everything staked, you know? So I couldn't capitalize on that. And people that were liquid in hex, they were able to get their, you know, if they bought at the bottom of that range, they're up 150% right now in the way that ratio moved. And I'm enjoying my 10% or whatever for the year. And it's fine because it is what it is. You can't catch every single one. You don't want to FOMO into these because you see the green and the numbers going up and like, oh, I'm missing out. I got to do this. One's going to move more in this. Just chill out a little bit and relax. Chill out and relax. You're not going to get every single one. And going all in on one thing, it's just so risky that if you get it wrong, you're not positioned in order to make adjustments to your portfolio depending on ratios on how coins are performing as we traverse through the timeline. As we go through time, these things are like moving targets and they're going to change. And you're just going to be sitting on this one bag and just watching this one bag. And if for some reason some whale comes in and wants to slap up hex, you're going to be like, oh man, if I had some hex, I would be killing it. Or maybe ink drops because somebody wants to really cash out on their yield and PulseX starts flying up because the buy and burn is just fiery. And you're going to be like, oh, if I only had some PulseX. So I just think it's kind of risky to do that. I wouldn't do it personally. You know, I saw ink at that low price. I didn't jump on it. It is what it is. I've been yield farming for a while. I don't, you know, not a ton. Like I'm only doing like maybe 10% yield farm because I know that impermanent loss is a thing. I like holding my nuts, you know. I like having, you know, ugh. So I do have some ink just kind of accruing in those farms and haven't sold any yet. And I don't know, but homie Tron, great question. I hope that helped out a little bit. It's nice to have some wiggle room within your portfolio to take advantage of things as they move and, you know, wave between each other, and PulseX goes up a little bit, Pulse goes up, Hex, incentive token, all this stuff is like, it's a moving target. So when you're all in on one thing, you're really boxing yourself in. You're boxing yourself in. And I understand we need to make it, and we will make it. We will. We really need to, and we will. But I feel you, like we need to make it. We really got to make it. So rather than ask the question, should I go all in on this or go all in on that? Maybe think about, how can I add to my bag? How can I add to my position so that I have fresh capital coming in and I can grow my account more that way instead of just banking on one thing killing it? And then you can have all these other little coins sprinkled around here and there. You can do your 10% lottery if you want to do that. You know, you keep your core coins. So thank you again for your question. I really love and appreciate all y'all. I'm having a ton of fun doing these videos. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I love y'all, and peace.